Well, you know Zemo is one of your true villains when you have a moment like this.
Turkish delight. Irresistible.
I can make anything you like.
Turkish delight?
What did you think of episode 4 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier? The world is watching. Let's talk about that in the comments. Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin, and this is my spoiler talk review for The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 4, The World is Watching. What a great title for this episode, mostly because of how it built up to that title, why it has that title. They did such a great job with that. Now, like I said before, my biggest problem with the show is I get into the flow, I'm getting into the story, and then the episode ends, and I gotta wait a week. I want to see this as just one long movie, so I am looking forward to that binge. But this episode, as I've waited a week, I feel like it did a great job re-engaging me right from the get-go, and then not letting me go, and giving me that ending. And this really felt like that tragic ending that gripped me, and I'm like, yeah, all right, I gotta see exactly where this is going to go. So it did a good job bringing me back in. I mean, this episode opens with a flashback to 6 years ago. We have Bucky and Io in Wakanda, and we actually get to see Io saying the words that made Bucky fall into submission to whoever spoke them. And he is terrified as she's speaking the words. And what was so engaging about the scene was just the emotion. So we actually got to see the deprogramming process. We got to hear her say the words, and she said them slowly, dramatically. And so as she's saying these words, we're seeing the emotion on Bucky's face, the flashbacks to the atrocities that he's committed because of those words being spoken to him. And then finally she finishes saying the words, and he didn't fall into submission. He was set free. And so right from the get-go, it pulls you in with that strong emotion and seeing that joy on Bucky's face that he's free. So it endears you more, I think, to the character of Bucky. If we weren't already endeared enough to his character, I think it just did a good job showing you that full emotion of him being so joyous that he's being deprogrammed, and that first time that those words were spoken and he didn't fall into submission. So it was very cool to see that. And then we come back to the present time where you have Io and him in that alley, and she gives him 8 hours, and then they're gonna come for Zemo. They have 8 hours to find Donya, who's like a mother figure to Carly, and she's passed away, so there's gonna be a funeral, so they're trying to figure out where that's gonna be so that they could talk to Carly. Now, I think they did a good job getting a little bit deeper into Carly and her motivations. Like episode 3, I feel like you understand where she's coming from, and then she kills a bunch of people and a huge car explosion. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. So on the one hand, it's like they drew you in and you feel a little sympathy for her, and then she does something like that bad, that atrocious, right? And now you get a little bit deeper into that because of Sam's history of being able to work soldiers through their trauma. And that's exactly what she's going through. She has this trauma. 5 years ago, everybody was snapped out of existence. And with half of the Earth's population gone, there was no borders. People were just coming together to survive. And then when everybody comes back, and that's another thing that I liked, getting deeper into the effect of the blip. When everybody comes back, those that reappeared were displaced for sure, but to put them back in the world, it displaced those who had just found a home and were trying to survive. And so you're really seeing this incredible impact of everybody coming back. So I feel like when Sam and Carly were talking alone, you understand where Sam is coming from. He sympathizes with her, and he sympathizes with why she's fighting. But he's right. She's fighting this fight the wrong way. And so he's reaching her with common ground, with a common understanding. And then from that point, he's trying to take her forward and say, but you can't fight like this. And so that was a very interesting conversation, interrupted by John Walker. Oh my gosh, what they did with his character was exceedingly interesting. And I will get into that in just a second. The other thing kind of interesting is Zemo. And so you have Zemo, like the clip I played at the beginning where, you know, he has his whole Turkish delight thing.
Turkish delight. Irresistible.
And to me, that's where it's really like he's the White Witch. And so I don't know if that was intentional. Like, if you're a fan of Narnia and C.S. Lewis and you know those Turkish Delight references, I don't know if that's what they intentionally did, but it worked that way for me. And then a couple times I really thought he's going to run away again, and then he's back and he's helping. But it's really he's helping because he hates the idea of super soldier serum out there. And so when he has his moment with Carly, he stomps on all the vials of the super soldier serum, except one that he missed, that John Walker found. Get back to that in a minute. And he stomps on all of those, so it's gone. So you're seeing that's his true mission. And Bucky and Sam are just his means to an end. Because when the Wakandans show up and we have that epic battle, this becomes the moment where Zemo escapes. For real this time, and doesn't come back. So I'm going to be very curious now in light of the two wars that are being fought. We got the Power Broker as, again, this ominous presence, sending Carly a text message saying that, all right, I'm coming for you. You took my serum, and I want it back. And it's already destroyed at this point. And so we have the ominous Power Broker figure. We have Sharon, who said the Power Broker is not happy that Zemo killed the doctor. You know, the goose that lays the golden egg. Like, he's upset. So now we have this ominous, angry presence in the background that we still have not seen. And even Carly's men are like, we cannot fight two wars and win. She's like, well, I'll deal with the Power Broker when the time comes. Whatever that means, are you really going to deal with the Power Broker when the time comes? Are you going to be able to? Do you really think that serum gives you that much power? But what is Zemo's role now going to be in this? What is he going to align with a certain power? Is he going to be another power that ends up rising up against them? I am going to be very curious to see Zemo, the role he plays, and how he's going to show back up in hopefully future episodes of this present season. So I'm hoping we get more Zemo. I'm hoping that he reappears and has, I don't know, some big villainous role to play. But the most interesting thing, and to me the most compelling thing about this episode, is watching John Walker. Because you're really watching this guy become unhinged. I mean, we've already seen it, right? We've already seen he's not quite right. But we get a little bit more into his motivation and his character. So the medals he's won is for stuff that he's not proud of in Afghanistan. And then he and Battlestar are talking. He's like, could you imagine if we had super soldier serum? What we could accomplish, how many people would have been saved? And you just see what's going on is John Walker is jealous. He's jealous because he wants to really be Captain America. He wants the serum. And this episode gave us this fantastic comparison. Because Zemo asked Sam, would you take the serum? And without hesitation, Sam said no. And Zemo thought that was a good thing. Of course he would. But you're really seeing the selfishness with John Walker, because the same question is posed to him, and it's like, yeah. And he's looking for reasons to take it. But he's hesitant. And I think he's rightfully hesitant, because Battlestar reminded us of this.
The serum amplifies everything that is inside. So good becomes great. Bad becomes worse.
The serum amplifies what is inside.
There's only one God, man. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't dress like that.
That line leads me to think Steve is a believer. And when you believe in Jesus, we get the Holy Spirit. We become new creations on the inside. And what's inside of you is amplified when you take that serum. So that new creation that was regenerated in him by the Holy Spirit is amplified as he takes the serum.
This is why you were chosen. But a weak man knows the value of strength and knows compassion.
So that's what I believe the serum amplified in Steve. With the Holy Spirit, he is a brand new creation on the inside, and the serum amplified that. Whereas with John Walker...
Because a strong man who has known power all his life may lose respect for that power.
And here we're looking at the Flag Smashers. And we really haven't gotten into all of these characters. So what is amplified in these other characters that have the serum? I don't know yet. I know with Carly, she feels alone, she's fearful. And these things are being amplified in her. She wants to do good, but calling up Sam's sister? Oh my gosh! Like, it's taking her down a darker path, but I feel like, at least in her, the fight between good and evil inside is still alive. With John Walker, I don't think there's much of a fight. I think, for him, he's chosen the darkness. I mean, I think there is some good in him, But I think, especially when Sam is talking to Carly alone, right? And you really see it, his distrust and his impatience. And then he tries to get past Bucky, and Bucky stops him, and he's like, "It's so easy for you, isn't it? All that serum running through your blood." And it's just the way he says it. And then after that fight, when they lose Carly, and the Wakandans show up to claim Zemo, that fight scene is pretty freaking astounding. But what is even cooler about that fight scene is not just the fight itself, but it's afterwards. It's afterwards when John Walker looks at Battlestar and he says, "They didn't even have super soldier serum." And he really wants the serum. So when he finds the one vial that Zemo missed, he puts it in his pocket. Then later when Battlestar and John Walker are really talking this out, I really feel like John Walker, like, the one bit of good in him is resisting taking the serum, but that bad in him that he keeps yielding to is looking for every excuse and every reason to explain to that good side, "This is exactly why I should take the serum." Now, I wish we saw when he took it, because I feel like they've already expressed when you take the serum and the transformation begins to happen, like burns in your veins and pain. Like, I feel like that's been expressed, and we never see him take the serum. So we never see that restless night that he spends in transformation. It's like, did that actually happen? Instead, we get this shocking moment where he's fighting and he bends a bar, and it's like, "Oh crap, dude, what did you do?" This serum amplifies what is inside of him. And what we've seen in him is this greed, this lust for power, to be Captain America, to be the strongest in the room.
Because the strong man who has known power all his life may lose respect for that power.
And so when Carly punches Battlestar and he dead, oh my gosh, I mean, he's got to be dead. If it just turns out he only has a broken back, well, they did a very convincing job of making him appear very, very dead in this fight scene. And it was amazing how everybody was silent. It's like the Flag Smashers, they want to fight. They want to fight to get the world back to how it was, where they were coming together. That's what they want to fight towards. But when it comes to this idea of actually killing, you see it still kind of scares them. I mean, in episode 3, when Carly blew up that car, the dude with her was kind of shocked that she did that. I mean, he just let it go, but he had a moment of, what? And now you have that here. She punches Battlestar, and this is like probably the first person she's directly killed, unless I missed something, because she went silent and everybody went silent. And Walker lost it. The world is watching. It's another reflection here. Look at Captain America Civil War. Steve never wanted to kill Tony, but he needed to make sure that fight stopped. He was trying to save his friend, and in the end, he was trying to save both of his friends. So even though Stark was his enemy, he didn't want to keep Stark as his enemy. He wanted Stark to be his friend.
And I'm sorry. Hopefully one day you can understand.
And this to me leads to another great picture. Steve Rogers is the picture of somebody whose mind is controlled by the spirit, and that leads to life and peace. Steve Rogers, he did experience pain and loss in his life, yet he was still able to have compassion. And then you have John Walker, and he's the picture of one whose mind is controlled by the flesh, and the serum amplified that. That only leads to one place, death. And when he experienced pain and loss, he yielded to that dark side and yielded that control, and he took out that dude, staining that shield with blood while the whole world watched. Seriously, what a way to end that episode. And seriously, what a way to end the episode, to have your jaw drop and say, "I'm back. I'll be back for the next episode." Where is this gonna go? What's this gonna do to Carly? How far over the edge is this gonna push her? She's already got the serum in her. She's battling between dark and light. Does this just give the edge to the dark in her own heart? Like, this is going to be very interesting to see. We got the power broker ominously in the background, and he is ticked. And now his serum is all gone. Part of it in this imposter Captain America, the rest of it decimated. It's like, what is going to be happening here? What role is Sharon going to play? What role is Zemo going to play? There are so many things I'm looking forward to seeing. What did you think of this episode? Let's talk about that in the comments. While you're there, hit that subscribe button to become a Durbanian. Hit that bell by the subscribe button so you're notified the next time I do my Captain America, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier review, or my next review for the show, The Chosen. Fantastic show. Check out my other reviews for that. And if you haven't checked out the show, check out that show. But lots of great things that I do here on this channel. Theological analyses, movie reviews, rankings. Hit that bell so you're notified the next time it drops. I'm Durbin. Thanks for checking out Durbania.